Doop, doop, doop. Please be notified. The sky is falling. That's right. XRP and other cryptocurrencies are currently falling like a manhole cover from the sky. I don't think there's anything left to do now but alert the masses and roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. We are just under $2 trillion for the market cap this morning, and usually we can kind of lay into that and feel good about that number, but that's how bad of a bleed off we've seen in the cryptocurrency space all day yesterday and overnight last night. We are down 13.68% on the cryptocurrency market cap. Ouch. Yeah, when I look at this, I say to myself, it's awful because Bitcoin, XRP went down, and I know we touched 119 moments ago. I saw that happen, and I think we even went as low as like 112 or something, someone said, but we'll talk about how low we went. We'll talk about the technical analysts. Let's see what the experts say about the charts. We know that they lost support at a couple places, but let's see what they're seeing so we can kind of find out, how much more of this bleed off we may or may not see and try to get a grasp on what's going on here and possibly what is the catalyst for this, because this is not happening just to XRP. Obviously, this is happening to the entire market space. So, by the way, guys, we're close to 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do that now. That is going to be amazing. Yeah, looking forward to that. So, all right, so right now we're at $54,000 for Bitcoin, and Ethereum is sitting at 2,000 slightly plus, and XRP is at $1.22 right now. We're off 26.13 on the 24-hour and 12.36% down on the 7-day. Now, we just heard Fiat Links making a rumble. We're back at 119. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Well, let's take a look at a few things here. One, we saw this little happy buster come out here, 2 days ago. So we saw this, and this is a crackdown on BT is coming through the SEC enforcement actions. And the part to pay attention to here, and thank you, Andrew Fisher, for this, is down here at the bottom. Sources say Gensler signaling he will address crypto regulation through increased enforcement, not rulemaking. The big part of that comment is they're talking about Gary Gensler, who has signed and is now the official chairman of the SEC. But it's really the fact that that he's going to address crypto regulation through increased enforcement, not rulemaking. Well, I can tell you that this forced me over the weekend to eliminate my Bitcoin position. I have a small amount now in there for me and Mrs. Backup, and I guess I would say it's an amount at this point that I feel like, okay, if something bad happens, I'm willing to take the hit. I do believe Bitcoin makes it long-term through whatever enforcement we're going to see from the SEC and Gary Gensler. But one thing we know for sure is he's going to do that. I mean, that's what they're saying here. So then I look at this and think, okay, well, this didn't help matters either. U.S. government sanctions crypto addresses linked to Russian election fraud scheme. Now, this comes out at the same time here that we're talking about the enforcement from the SEC. This is Nicolesh Day here, who writes really great articles from CoinDesk. Shout out to you. I just want to go down here to this. Well, first, let me catch this first part here. Part of a sweeping set of actions taken by the U.S. government to address the alleged Russian government interference in the elections on Thursday, the Treasury Department announced it would identify digital cryptocurrencies addresses used by Second Eye Solutions, SES, otherwise known as forwarders, which allegedly received $2.5 million across nearly 27,000 transactions between 2013 and 2021. When I come down here, it just highlights, for one, here are some of the cryptos that were in question with the addresses, which cite Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ether, and Zcash. And then it comes down here and adds to the fury of it all. There has been an executive order signed by the current President Joe Biden, also mentions cryptocurrencies as a tool that may be used to bypass U.S. sanctions. The executive order states that any individual who uses deceptive or structured transactions or dealing to circumvent any United States sanctions, including through the use of digital currencies or assets or the use of physical assets, should be blocked from transacting with or being paid by any U.S. person, meaning U.S. citizens or individuals residing on U.S. soil. So this here, between this and understanding, they're saying Gary Gensler's going to come in and get a little heavy-handed with crypto here because he's going to start with enforcement and not rulemaking. I think that could be plenty enough catalyst for me, certainly, to understand why this market looks like this today. Now let's take a look at what some of the experts are saying here. So looking at Crypto Bull 2020 says, let's put this Bitcoin crash into a long-term perspective for everybody. This is the first time since December that Bitcoin almost retested the trend line that started back in September of 2020. This was a normal correction, and until the daily candle closes below, no reason for panic. Let's just take a look at what he's talking about here. Here is that trend line, and it does look like it's coming back to test it. So I think that helps us understand with the fundamental news I just shared with everybody that could potentially be an impact on what's happening in the crypto space. Because like I said, this is happening to all the crypto space, not just XRP. Now looking at XRP and Crypto Bulls 2020 opinion here, it says here, we bounced perfectly off of the support at $1.12, which is really good sign. And again, we are currently looking at 119 and it's struggling to hold that mark, I don't mind saying. But again, that's what he's seeing here. And then we see here on the 4 hour, and this was just literally about a half hour ago. So shout out to Crypto Bull for all of that. And if we hold that 112, we could start working our way back up and get the buyers back in the market again, right? So Dark Defender says, hi there. What a hard day for crypto. XRP couldn't hold at the 171 and found a support at $1.33 as we've been discussing. Is it normal? Absolutely yes. Check what happened until 2017. I trust XRP. He says, I'm long distance runner and know she will come back much far stronger. So cheers to everybody, he says. And here, you know, obviously this post was put out before we broke down to the 119, 120 mark. But again, going back to Crypto Bull here, talking about finding support at 112, I think we understand that we are at some support now, unless we see something go awry from there. We'd have to look for support below 112. But here, I think this is a nice chart from Dark Defender, because what he's showing here in previous history is some of the drops that we saw in previous history, right? So where they had, 310% increase here, a 900 increase here, right? 1,050% increase by this point, right? And then 37% increase to these prices and this range. So looking here, you see that those pullbacks that happened during those jumps each time at one point was a 29.62% pullback, a 42.30 pullback, and a 72+% drop in price inside of this overall macro move that went up during the last bull run. So here, if you look at where the market was in volume, right, there was a lot of buying being done at that point, right? And you could see in comparison, he says we have a long way to go here where we're at in that point before we reach up here to the top of that buying support, that volume, right? So here is where we currently are. So, and obviously, but this was before we saw the lower low that we saw. But nevertheless, I think this chart really puts in a great perspective. And currently at the time when he made the chart, we were at a 31+% drop. And currently right now, just to look at this, let's see where we are. Right now, XRP is at a 26% drop. So this is not unlike what we've seen in history before. So shout out to all of these technical analysts. I think this stuff really helps me understand with the fundamental news, right? The executive order from Biden and the news that Gary Gensler is going to get a little heavy-handed on crypto doesn't seem to favor the markets is what I'm seeing. So now in the past 24 hours, however, Michael Val 5 Link, shout out to you, my friend, says a total of 72 million XRP coins has been shifted by Ripple in several crypto exchanges. Those include Bitstamp, Coinbase, Upbit, Binance, BitTrue, BitGo, and a few others. And some of these on the list, like Coinbase, aren't offering XRP. Things that make you go, I happen to feel like they must be preparing to relist at some point. It just feels that way to me. I mean, when the market's doing well, there is that element they talk about, animal spirits, and you can't rule out the animal spirits in the market that can come out here and push a market up or sell a market off. That could certainly be a factor too. The only thing I think about that at this point, though, is that, the animal spirits that come in and move a market, and a lot of people think when the market was moving up to $1.90 and things of that nature, when we were in that a couple of days ago, that, that's retail buying. I don't believe that at this point, only because the animal spirits in the U.S. retail investor have been handcuffed. We can't buy in the same open, free manner that we could before the SEC lawsuit, because the XRP token is not being offered on many of the exchanges that it was. So I don't lay the price action that's gone up so much in the retailers, in the retail investors' win column. I mean, it's a win for us that are holding, right? But I mean, I feel like whatever market action we've been seeing, I believe it's been market makers buying up off of the exchanges. That's me personally. Now, let's take a look here. If you haven't heard, there's new information on the SEC Ripple case, and it starts with the SEC. They're at it again. I tell you, besides them really having a horrible reputation for pay to play, or what really looks to be or appears to be, previous SEC chair people and employees there possibly making decisions in their career afterwards that really beg a lot more questions than to do answers. I'll tell you that. We have another problem from the SEC, and it's an overreach situation, right? The SEC is overreached now and is really using intimidation tactics, and they've sent memorandum of understandings, which is a MOU, to foreign regulators where they know that there are Ripple customers, and have gone as far as to try to pressure the foreign regulators and the foreign customers and partners of Ripple to cough up information to the SEC. Well, I have to say, look, I've listened to Judge Torres and Judge Netburn talk. I've read some of their writings. These are extremely smart people, and I am counting on them to do the right thing here and really just wear out the SEC for this recent action that's come to light here. I don't know whether that means a case dismissal or whether we just go ahead and have the judges be so upset with the actions of the SEC that it forces a summary judgment and to get this embarrassment resolved and move past us. But I really think that this has really pushed us closer to Ripple getting some kind of a settlement or a case dismissal. I really do believe that, and we will keep an eye on it. Now, here is an interesting minute and a half here that I want you to hear. This is Jim Rogers, famous investor, but listen to what he says to Kitco News here about Bitcoin and crypto broadly not being used for payments. Now, look, a mountain of respect for Jim Rogers, but it is time for the traditional conventional investor to really brush up their crypto game a bit, because this is going to reveal that it's not accurate at all. And I don't mean to take shots at anyone. I just want to reveal, what the narrative that's still being held on to. Listen to this.
Imagine that any government or many governments in the world will say, okay, you can use our money or their money. That's not what history shows.
Now, that part is 100% accurate, and that is exactly why we know that XRP is really positioned in the right place, because the asset XRP is not designed to challenge the fiat money of the world. In fact, it is designed to accelerate, enhance the settlement and the moving of the fiat money in the world once it's tokenized and digitized. So there you go. Keep listening.
All right, well, we do have, of course, central banks starting to pay attention to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and digital currencies around the world, to your point. And Powell is actually putting Bitcoin and gold in the same camp. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about that.
We think of them more as crypto assets, because crypto, what people call cryptocurrencies, they're really vehicles for speculation. No one is using them for payments, for example, like the dollar. What they're using them for is to speculate. It's a little bit like gold. For thousands of years, human beings have given gold this special value that it doesn't have from an industrial standpoint, but nonetheless, for thousands of years, they've done that. So Bitcoin is much more like that, and the cryptocurrencies are much more like that. They're not really being actively used as payments.
Do you agree with that? Is it like gold?
Well, it's
or
certainly
is that
something.
just an offense to your sensibilities to put Bitcoin and gold in the same camp?
No, of course not. Anything that the world wants to use is fine with me. But he said the same thing I do. The people are using it as trading vehicles, which is exactly what it is so far. If it becomes a currency, then something else will change. No, there's no question that what he said about it's like, you cannot go down to the shop and buy bread with gold right now. You cannot go down to the shop and buy bread with Bitcoin either right now. But history would indicate that silver and gold probably have a better future.
Well, listen, he makes a great point. And the point I want to make out of what's being said here is that none of what they are saying is applicable to XRP, because, again, XRP is designed to be a bridge asset to accentuate and enhance the current system that we have, because it's built and designed to work within the system, not to challenge the system. But let me tell you which one does challenge the system. It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin absolutely is anti-establishment, anti-dollar, anti-bank, anti-government, right? And that's the one you got to be careful of, because the real deal here is that if it's challenging the government monies around the world, you've got a problem on your hands. But now, on the other hand, if you've designed something to work as a beautiful, most elegant solution to enhance the current system once it's all digitized and tokenized, then you're talking about a real solution that can work within the system, like this one right here. Ripple pilots a private ledger for central banks launching CBDCs. Let's go to the Yahoo announcement of that when it came out, right? Let's look at, and actually this came out much further, but this is from March 4th, 2021. Yahoo picked it up in an article here. And I just want to go down some of the bullet points so you understand exactly what we're talking about here. And I'm going to show some things to you to complement it. Ripple's piloting private ledger to provide platform for the issuance of central bank digital currencies. The CBDC private ledger will be powered by the same blockchain technology as Ripple's public XRP ledger. It says this means the ledger will be built both for payments and issuing digital currencies, according to the blog post Wednesday. So that already shoots everything else out of the water, doesn't it, right? So this is where I'm talking about here. So CBDC ledger will aim to move money at low cost with the speed and volume demanded by central banks, and while also meeting their standards of security. Ripple will also need to ensure CBDC products built with the XRP ledger will be interoperable with existing financial infrastructure. Remember, we showed months and months ago There was a demo video about how they could go in and simply, like, just by choosing options, which country you have, the regulations already built in for you to design your central bank digital currency, and they already have everything you need. And it's as simple as just like click and play, plug in and play to design your CBDC for sure. Then it says here, the core technology behind a new CBDC private ledger has been running for more than 8 years without incident and with billions of dollars of value transacted every day, according to Ripple's post, which is absolutely accurate. And that is one of the mainstay things that I think is going to be the winner for XRP and the ledger and this private ledger that's being built on top of the XRP ledger. Now, around 80% of central banks are looking to launch CBDCs per the post, with the Bahamas Sand Dollar being the first to launch and the China's digital yuan thought to be nearing fruition. Now, which is accurate. Now, look here. Now, this is just a quick clip that I played the other day, but listen to what the president of the European Central Bank, that is in charge of 17 or 19 different countries in the euro, says here really quickly.
We think, we central banks, and I'm not the only one here.
And she's not the only one here.
There are, at least 80 central banks around the world that are looking at digital currencies. We think that it's a duty of us to actually have available digital currencies.
And there you get that part right there. Now let's go back here from 2019 and listen to what Monica Long and Michelle Bond were talking about.
Framework, which is very exciting. Ripple is, in addition, a regulated company in and of itself. So we are FinCEN regulated, and we also have a Department of Financial Services BIT license. I oversee the global government relations team, and we are engaging with 50 different governments worldwide. And
there you go. And that was back in 2019. They were dealing with 50 governments worldwide. Kind of lines up with everything we're hearing from Christine Lagarde and everyone else at the moment. Now, the question is that we know that Gary Gensler has in fact signed, and he is the new SEC chairman, and congratulations to him. What we don't know, in fact, is what we're going to get in full bore from him through enforcement and or regulation. We know that, listen, don't go into this blindly. Gary Gensler, in years past, in interviews and conferences, has been very clear that the fact that digital assets have what he says, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's somewhere in the category, he says it like this: the fact that these digital assets or cryptos have a little bit of utility means very little to him. He sees broadly cryptocurrencies, broadly speaking here, as digital asset securities in his mind, the majority of them. However, with that being said, we will have to see what happens, because hopefully working together with somebody like Hester Peirce here could be a big help. Listen to this little quick comment from her.
Another area I hope to work with Chairman Gensler on is building a regulatory framework for crypto. And that's something that Gary comes to the SEC with a lot of experience in. He's actually been teaching a course on blockchain and finance at MIT. He also has a lot of experience in regulation. Chairman Gensler was previously the chairman of our fellow regulatory agency in the capital markets area, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So with that combination of knowledge about regulation in the capital market space and knowledge of crypto, we should be able to build a good regulatory framework for crypto.
That's exciting, and that's what we're all hoping for, is that however this goes, whether it's incorporating the safe harbor, which I think is a fantastic idea by Hester Peirce, by the way, to allow companies and projects to come in and have like a 3-year window of safe harbor to grow the company and kind of give it an opportunity to become whatever that ultimate end goal is. Now, with that being said, we're going to have to see what Gary Gensler's approach is going to be here, and we don't yet know what that is. And obviously, the case of Ripple versus SEC is its own matter in its own right, because that ball's been rolling downhill for quite a while. So this gets more interesting by the day, but this is where we are on this day. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I do want to remind you very quickly, however, Unstoppable Domains is about to be unstoppable all over again. 2 days from now, they're going to be opening up the finance category. Cash.crypto, rich.crypto, forget about it. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong, as DAI likes to say, and myself. It's a generation thing. Look, hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I'm not able to do a second video today. I've got too many things going on, so I'm not able to get that out, but I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Make sure you definitely hit that like and subscribe. And those, by the way, are trusted, vetted links in the comment and description box, and their products and services I use each and every day. I'll catch all of you on the next one.